finally, for the first time in weeks, this has actually gone to plan because I haven't done a scheduled live. I've just gone live on my phone, so I'm just going to wait for people to tune in. If you're tuning in, like, after, apologies that you just got to wait for this awkward little bit whilst I wait for people to come on. But today's topic is the connection between our gut health and our skin. So if you guys don't know already, I am actually a nutritional coach, which means that I help people on a one-to-one basis over Skype, so like all over the world. Pardon me, just had some kombucha, so I'm really burpy. And if you don't know what kombucha is, we're actually going to talk about that later on in the live. So yeah, I am a nutritional coach, so I help women from all over the world, and sometimes men as well, improve their health with small dietary changes and small mindfulness goals as well. And one of the biggest problems that people often come to me with is skin issues, and that is because skin issues are directly linked to what we eat, and we don't necessarily always see that because we live, like, our medical system kind of pushes this a pill will fix it all kind of thing onto us, or like a cream will fix it all kind of idea. And that's just not the case. If you've ever taken steroid creams or steroids for inflammation or acne, then you know that it's a very short-lived treatment and it doesn't really work long-term at all. Like, it's a very short-term thing, and it will clear up your skin, it will get rid of inflammation, but not for very long, and you'll probably end up having to go on antibiotics and steroids time and time again after doing that. The same goes for things like IBS and Crohn's disease. The antibiotics will work for a little bit, but they won't work for. I'm being honest, I was vegan for 2 years. I still eat whole foods, but adding fish, do you know what, honestly, everyone's different, and for me personally, like, that it doesn't make sense for me to eat like fish and stuff or any animal products just because they don't agree with me. But I can't speak on behalf of everyone in the world, right? Like, I'll be honest as well, like, I used to think that a vegan diet was the only thing that's correct for everyone, but I don't really know right now. I'm just in a weird point in my life where I don't know. I'm not saying I'm gonna start eating meat or fish, but like, I get why other people may do it. I don't eat meat, dairy, or anything processed like that. Yeah, I mean, everyone's different, everybody is different. But yeah, that's cool. I appreciate your honesty, and thank you for tuning in. So if no one has any questions if you have any questions throughout, please just write them in the comments and I'll just answer them as I get a chance to check the comments. Before we start, I'm just going to kind of go through the points. Sorry, I keep burping. The points that we've got in the notebook today. So the gut and skin connection. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our microbiome, and don't worry if you don't know what some of these words are. By the end of this, you're going to know. The second thing we're going to talk about is antibiotics, which is a really important thing to understand in relation to our microbiome especially. And the last thing we're going to talk about is fermented foods. So we've got 3 points to cover today. And if anyone here has ever suffered from things like acne, eczema, psoriasis, or rosacea, or any other like skin inflammations, just let me know, and I can definitely talk specifically about that if you'd like me to. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the microbiome. So this is basically just an internal ecosystem of microbes, and the microbiome is located mainly in our gut, so in our stomach and large intestines, but it's also found on our skin. And in our mouths, and our eyes have also been found to have microbe colonies in it as well. So this complex ecosystem of bacteria is found in our gut, is found on our skin, is found in our mouths, and also in our eyes. So in our gut, we're going to focus on our gut today because that's the kind of thing that affects our skin the most. So in our gut, we actually have around 2 kilograms of microbes, and majority of those microbes are actually bacteria. So you've probably seen like adverts, like here in the UK we have like probiotic yogurt drinks, like I can't even remember what they're called, but like there's these tiny little drinks like Yakult, for example. I remember growing up and seeing those all the time and constantly being told that they're good for us, and probiotics are very good for you, but these kind of synthetic ones, they're not good for you. And you know, they talk about tummy bacteria in these adverts, and it's kind of giving you like half information, half kind of like half true information, half false information. So we're going to kind of debunk that a little bit, and I'm going to explain to you why these bacteria are so important. So there's something called germ theory. So our modern medical system is based off of something called germ theory, which was developed by this French chemist called Louis Pasteur. And Pasteur basically said that all disease manifests due to bacteria and germs, which completely isn't true. So Pasteur's theory basically states that we as humans are completely sterile beings, and that's not the case. So a medical system that is kind of based on a theory that is so obsolete is definitely going to have some problems along the way, and I really feel like that's why the medical system, the modern medical system, has so many issues in it. It's because its foundation is based on something that makes no sense at all. As humans, we are not sterile at all. We have so many microbes and bacteria that live in our body and that help us actually live a healthy life and thrive. So once we start looking at ourselves like a blank slate, that is when disease is going to start manifesting, because that is when our balance of healthy bacteria is going to go out of whack, basically. So he kind of introduced a more hygienic medical practice. I say hygienic in inverted commas because I don't think it is, I don't know, I think it's the opposite of hygienic, to be honest, because it doesn't really, I mean, it cleans, but not in a good way. The word clean kind of has the connotation of being good, but his idea of clean definitely wasn't good. It was just wiping everything out. So yeah, the limitation of this is just that we're not sterile and we need bacteria for our optimum health. So going back to our microbiome, it is basically colonies of bacteria that are found in our gut, in our skin, in our mouth, and in our eyes. And there's loads of different bacteria that are there, and they need to be balanced to do their job. So we need bacteria. So if you have like a bit of inflammation on your skin, for example, and you get given a cream that works for, sorry, I just got a WhatsApp message. Ugh, can't multitask. So we put on this cream and it creates a sterile environment. It basically wipes out all of our bacteria, so the inflammation goes away. But the thing is, it wipes out all of the bad bacteria that's causing the inflammation, but also all of the good bacteria that is going to help fight the inflammation. So that is definitely not the route that you want to go down. So our immune system, which 80% of is actually located in the gut, so having good gut health is important on so many different levels. So our immune system is directly linked to the bacteria in our microbiome. Like, they literally work together. Our immune system and this colony of good bacteria that is working every single day to keep us healthy, those two things work together to help us fight infection and to help us live a healthy lifestyle. And scientists like in this field kind of describe it as a conversation between our bacteria and our immune system. So it's like they're constantly talking to one another to make sure that our body is in a good place. So in a typical healthy person, the microbes in the gut stimulate the immune system, and then the immune system responses. So something happens from like an external stimuli, whatever that might be, like there might be a toxin that enters the body, then the microbes in the gut will stimulate the immune system, and the immune system will respond accordingly to help fight that bad toxin that's entered the body. Now, in another scenario, if we have loaded our microbiome, if we've loaded our body with chemicals, with toxins, for example, from like processed foods that we eat, from makeup products, from care products that have loads of different like foreign ingredients, foreign man-made ingredients that aren't going to be able to be assimilated into the body, these kind of things. Oh, and also antibiotics, which are also another thing that kind of wipe the slate sterile. So these things are going to interrupt the delicate back and forth conversation between the immune system and the bacteria, and this causes our bacteria to become imbalanced, and it shows on your skin, because your skin is a direct representation of what's going on inside. So you have your microbiome, just as a quick summary. You have your microbiome, which is a colony of loads of different really important bacteria that we need to keep balanced for optimum health. Now, this microbiome has a direct link to our immune system, which 80% is actually found in our gut. So when we have an external stimuli of some kind, like, I don't know, a toxin entering the body, then our microbiome will talk to our immune system, and the immune system will give a response to help fight that toxin. But if we have kind of damaged this part here, if we've damaged the microbiome, then by having things like processed foods, by taking antibiotics, by using skincare products that don't have any good ingredients in it, so that means that like the bacteria is basically wiped out, then that whole conversation isn't going to happen, and that is going to show up on the skin. So let me know if that makes sense. I think it does. And the reason that it shows up on your skin is because your skin is a direct representation of what's happening in your stomach. So if your stomach bacteria, if your microbiome in your stomach is completely imbalanced, that's going to show on the skin as eczema, acne, psoriasis, or rosacea. And rosacea is a bit tougher to get rid of than say something like eczema or dermatitis, but it's all completely reversible and you don't need antibiotics. I've been through like a tub of sauerkraut to help my gut and stuff, but online there's mixed opinions on fermented foods. What's your thoughts? I also take L-glutamine. I'm going to talk about fermented foods at the end, so definitely remind me of that. That's so mad. It seems obvious your body talks to other parts. 100%. Like everything in your body has to be balanced, and they definitely talk to one another. If one thing is out of balance, then it will have a ripple effect on the rest of your body. I've definitely seen the effects of bad foods on my skin, 100%. And even when you start transitioning to a healthy diet, your body will start to balance out, and that means that it can have bad effects on your skin. So for example, some of my clients have gone plant-based. They've stopped having processed foods and they've adopted a more whole foods, plant-based diet, and it's really weird, but because their body starts to heal, skin issues actually start to manifest just because the gut is starting to heal and the body just gets a bit confused, and it takes time for this balance to kind of get restored. So sometimes as you transition to a better diet and as you start looking after your body a bit better, it can come out as eczema or acne. Those are the kind of two most common things that I've seen, but they do subside and they do go away. You just have to stick at it for a little bit. But the good thing about this is that they won't come back, whereas if you go down the antibiotic route, the chances are, in fact it's not even a chance, I 100% know that they will come back if you don't take certain precautions whilst taking antibiotics. Is it better to eat vegetables and green stuff? I really think we need to listen to our body. Our skin talks with us, and our energy, we are what we eat. 100%. Oh, you didn't ask, you said it is. Yeah, 100%, Andrea. It is better to eat vegetables and, you know, your greens and all of that stuff. You got to listen to your body. Your body will always tell you the right thing that it wants. Like when you're dehydrated, when we spoke about water last week, your body always tells you when you're dehydrated, and sometimes we don't know how to understand the body's messages, but they're definitely there. We just need to pay a little bit more attention. So the next thing is antibiotics, and I'm sure everyone on this live right now has probably taken antibiotics at some point in their life. So going back to Louis Pasteur's theory of like germ theory, what the modern medical system is based on, humans are not sterile beings. So we have this complete complex microbiome that needs to be kept, that is made up literally of bacteria, that needs to be kept in balance. So when we take antibiotics, it literally wipes out every single one of those bacteria, the good ones and the bad ones. And like currently 40% of adults take antibiotics and 70% of children are on antibiotics. Like that's a large percentage of, I cannot speak, that is a large percentage of children. And the thing is, they're taking, like, often the doctor will prescribe antibiotics to children, especially for things like respiratory tract infections, so like coughs and stuff, colds, and other issues that will generally clear up on their own. But we're so quick to just go to the doctor straight away and be like, fix this with a pill. But the repercussion of that pill means that like a lot of other things will happen to the body. Like taking antibiotics has actually been shown to like cause things like diarrhea, like IBS, like after taking a course. So you probably notice, like if you've got children or if you have like younger siblings, after they've taken antibiotics, why is that word so hard to say? If they've ever taken antibiotics, you might notice that they have like loads of other issues after, especially in the digestive system. And why is that? That's because 80% of our immune system is found in our gut, and so is 2 kilos of our microbiome. So a lot of that bacteria in our gut gets completely wiped out, and that directly, like immediately, has an effect on our stools and our digestion. So once you start to make the connection with those kind of things, it really starts to make sense, and you yourself can make the choice whether to take antibiotics or not. So yeah, like I said before, antibiotics don't just kill the bad bacteria to get rid of the infection, it kills the good stuff too. So for example, if you have acne, you go to the doctor, you say, hey, I've got acne, give me something to get rid of it. They'll either give you a course of antibiotics to take internally, or steroid cream, or both. Now what this is going to do is the antibiotics will go into your gut, and that's going to wipe out all of the bacteria in your gut, and the steroid cream is going to wipe all of the microbiome that is found on your skin, so you are going to be completely sterile. Now it will work short term, so once you're sterile, all of those symptoms are going to go. So once you stop taking these antibiotics and these steroids, those issues are going to come back, because you're not getting to the root cause of the issue, which is another problem within your gut. So the problem with this is once you've wiped out all of that bacteria in your stomach or on your skin, 1 second, let me just pause. I don't know what I just said. Okay, yeah. So once you take those antibiotics, it wipes out your skin. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys understand what I'm saying, because sometimes I feel like I ramble on a little bit. But let me know if it does or doesn't make sense, or if you have any questions. Don't be shy. No question is dumb. So yeah. You wipe out the entire microbiome and bacteria, you get rid of the acne for a really short-term basis, you stop taking the steroids and the antibiotics, because you can't take them for that long because they do have serious side effects, and the doctor will tell you that themselves. I don't even know why they prescribe it if they have really serious side effects, but that's another story for another day. So once you stop taking them, the bacteria will go back to how it was before, and your body will go back to how it was before, and the acne will come back, and more often than not it will come back worse, because you haven't dealt with the root cause, which is something is wrong with your microbiome. There is an imbalance in bacteria in your gut, and the way to do this is that you need to start reseeding that good bacteria. It's not about wiping all the bad and good bacteria and just being a clean slate, because that's not the way that humans work. We are living organisms with a lot of different ecosystems of bacteria living within us and on our skin, and we need those to be healthy and to have healthy skin and healthy digestion. Once we start messing with that with chemical processed foods or chemical medication, that's when the issues start to arise. So people don't generally get acne unless their diet is, you know, bad, or unless they start taking like artificial hormones and stuff like that. Once you start messing with your body with things that are man-made, that is how these things kind of come about. So stop with the processed foods, stop with the antibiotics, and start to reseed these good bacteria, and start to nurture that good bacteria that should be living in your gut. And that is definitely going to reflect on the skin, because remember, the skin is a direct reflection of whatever is happening in your gut. But how do you reseed? This is the interesting bit. So you probably heard of like probiotics, like I said before, like those small yogurt drinks, the Yakult and stuff like that, which are all just a joke. But natural probiotics. So again, not taking things that are made in a lab, not taking things that are man-made. There's nature has a remedy for everything. Honestly, Mother Nature has a remedy for absolutely everything. If you have a skin issue, Mother Nature will definitely have some kind of herb or something to help you out with it, and in this case they are probiotics. So fermented foods and probiotics. So someone said, Renzo said sauerkraut, fermented foods. I mean, I've mixed opinions on fermented foods. Fermented foods, as far as my research goes, fermented foods are incredible for the body. Sing Mahoon, why is intermittent fasting so good, and why is mucus always bad? Is mucus a sign of being unhealthy? They're really interesting questions, and I'm definitely going to answer them either at the end of this live or maybe in the next live. Let me know. You're right with Mother Nature, 100%. Mother Nature provides everything that we need. What typically can be good to reintroduce good microbiome? So Tab Singh, that is what I am going to talk about right now. So research has literally proved time and time again that keeping your immune system, which 80% of is found in your gut. So I'm going to keep repeating these just so you guys kind of understand. Sorry if it gets annoying. But if you prime your immune system, if you prime your gut with good bacteria, it's going to help counteract the negative effects of antibiotics, or of eating bad food, or of using bad makeup or chemical care products in general, whatever it is that you might use. So one example, and I'm just going to stick to this one example because I've been drinking a lot of it recently, is kombucha. In fact, I've actually got a kombucha here. This is not an ad. This is not an ad. This is just genuinely what I've been drinking. So this is a liter of kombucha, and this one is ginger, and I really like. It's a really, if you've never had kombucha before, it's a really kata, sour kind of taste, and I really like it with the ginger. It's naturally fizzy, and it's got loads of really good bacteria in it. So if you have any kind of stomach issues or any kind of like mouth issues or skin issues as well, definitely recommend getting some kombucha into your diet, because it contains beneficial bacteria that will help reseed that good bacteria that should be there for your microbiome to be in balance. Also, adopting a really simple plant-based whole foods diet whilst having this kombucha on a daily basis. This means that the food that you're having is really easy to digest, so you're not expending any energy on anything else except for healing the body. Because once we start eating heavy processed foods or meat, or you know, anything that's foreign to the body, it takes a lot of energy for us to kind of try and digest that. So if we're eating complex sugars like white sugar, if we're eating meat, dairy, like all of that kind of stuff, it's just difficult for the body to digest, so you end up wasting energy trying to digest it. But when you eat like a simple whole food plant-based diet that is majority cooked at home, you're not going to expend loads of energy trying to digest that, because they're really simple for the body to digest. And then also introducing the kombucha is going to really help that microbiome as well. What else did I want to say about this? So yeah, that's going to reseed the bacteria that has been wiped out due to antibiotics or toxins from the environment or chemicals from care products and foods. So there's other natural probiotics as well. Like someone said, I think it was Renzo that said, you know, there's things like sauerkraut, like fermented foods. Sauerkraut is really good. Kimchi is really good. Ajad is really good. Like if you're Punjabi and you have ajad, like homemade ajad is really good for you. So all of these things, introducing them into your diet, but also having a really simple whole foods plant-based diet. These are the things that are really going to start to fix your skin and heal your body internally, and that's going to reflect on the outside, because the skin is a direct reflection of what's going on inside the body. There's no magical cream or pill or anything that's going to fix these things. It takes a bit of time and a bit of planning and a little bit of patience to start fixing these things. Another really important thing to know is that you don't just heal the body selectively. If you heal the body, then you're going to end up healing everything. So if you have spots or eczema and you also have digestive issues, by taking these kind of steps, you're going to end up healing all of those things. You can't just heal one thing and ignore the other. Like I said, there's no pills that will work for this kind of thing. It's not a short-term fix that's just going to happen. You need like natural probiotics, so like kombucha, like sauerkraut, like kimchi, like ajad, things that you know exactly what's in them. You need to be able to see the ingredients list and recognize everything that is there, because you can get like medical versions or like pill versions of probiotics, but they're not going to do anything good for the body. They're not going to be able to assimilate into the body. They're not going to reseed any good bacteria, so you're probably going to do your body more damage than good. Oh, another really important thing to know is that as soon as you start taking antibiotics, they immediately begin damaging your insides. So it's really important that if you've ever taken antibiotics, or if you've taken them recently, take your health back into your own hands and do the research into fermented foods and a whole foods plant-based diet, which is predominantly cooked at home. These are the things that are really going to help your skin and your overall health in general. Everyone should be doing this, whether you're trying to reverse a disease like a skin disease, or whether you're trying to prevent one from happening. Everyone should be taking these precautions by having a whole foods plant-based diet, by introducing good healthy probiotics that are natural to the earth. I think I missed some questions. What typically can be good? Okay, I just answered that. I just answered like what can be typically, what's good to reintroduce good microbes. So like, let me know if that makes sense. Opinions on grains to the gut, like oats. Oats I wouldn't recommend, just purely because they are a hybrid they're a hybrid food, and I try my best to stay away from things like oats that are man-made. Some people say that gluten-free oats work for them. Like, I think that for Caucasian people they can work really well, but for like people of color, black and brown people, I would definitely recommend staying away from things like oats, even if they're gluten-free, and opt for an ancient grain, so something like spelt or amaranth. I think amaranth makes a really good porridge. I actually just bought some, and I'm gonna try it out, so I'll let you know how that goes. Follow me on Instagram. I'll probably post it in the next few days because I really want to try it out. So yeah, oats I wouldn't really recommend. I'm making fermented vegetables every year. It's great for the body. Yeah, 100% fermented vegetables. Whatever vegetables that you wanna make, like, it's great. Buckwheat, which is fruit seed, I think. Buckwheat. We used to make buckwheat rotia, but like they just kind of broke apart. Buckwheat is gluten-free, but I think that is hybrid as well. But I think it's better than oats. But I can't be sure. I would say just stick to ancient grains, so things like spelt, amaranth, quinoa, fonio. I think those are the only ones that come to my head. What could be a good for a breakfast meal? Just any kind of non-hybrid fruit, either just cut up raw or in a smoothie, or a juice. Something really light to just ease your body into the day is really good. Keeping it liquid so that you don't need to expend loads of energy kind of digesting it, like we said before. I think just keeping it really simple, because you have just been asleep for 6, 7 or 8 hours, however long you've been asleep. You need to ease your body into like getting used to eating in the morning, not just shock it by having like toast, eggs, beans, or you know, whatever madness we get recommended by the government. So just something really simple like fruit or vegetables or a smoothie or a juice, or just, you know, a liter of water even. Just keep it liquid, or keep it really basic. I just bought some oats. How about using it as a face mask? Yeah, I've heard that people, one of my clients, she used oats on her eczema, and that really helped her. Again, that was a short-term thing, because she found it really difficult to give up dairy. So the oats worked like for the first couple of weeks, but then it just kind of got used to it. Then she had to like go a step further to giving up dairy and changing her diet a little bit to get rid of the eczema for good. But oats for a face mask, I mean, if you're not trying to reverse a disease, I would say just eat the oats, finish them, like it's not that deep. But if you're trying to if you're trying to prevent a disease, I don't know if I said prevent or reverse, if you're trying to prevent a disease, then having oats is not a problem. Although, like, I wouldn't recommend it, but if you've bought it, I'm just trying to be realistic, if you bought it, just finish it, or make a mask out of it, make a bath out of it as well. You can put it in like a nut milk bag, put it in the bath with like some essential oils, and kind of like the creaminess from the oats will come out and really soothe the skin. That's really nice, and you'll feel really moisturized as well. Apparently my client tried that and she said it was amazing. Again, it was short term, but that's because she had eczema, so she had to go a little bit of the extra mile and go a bit harder with her diet, and that did work. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. Thank you, Benj. Oh, no worries, Tav. I hope that makes sense for you. Okay, if no one has any other questions, with regards to the intermittent fasting and mucus, I think they are really good. I'm actually gonna screenshot those two. Oh yeah, it worked. I think I'm going to do that for, whoops. I don't know what happened. Oh, I'm back. I think I'm going to do that for next week's live, or if you guys want to see any other topics, just let me know on Instagram at hipster.veggie. You can let me know there kind of like what you guys want to see. And yeah, I'll be back next Thursday, same time. Again, there's no video this Sunday because I'm working on a book and it's taking up a lot of my time, you know? So filming and editing YouTube videos just isn't really viable right now. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, the book is called Plant-Based for Beginners, and it's all about helping people transition to a healthy plant-based diet. So there's going to be 2 meal plans in there, so like a level 1 and a level 2. So level 1 is for anyone who just kind of wants to test the waters and kind of give it a go. Level 2 is for people who want to go all in and change up their whole diet for the new year. There's also going to be a shopping list. So there's going to be like days 1 to 5 and then days 6 to 10. So it's basically like a 10-day kind of transition thing to help you guys go plant-based. So yeah, that is going to be out in January, and it's really fun. Like the the ingredients, the recipes. Oh, English is failing me today. The recipes are amazing, if I do say so myself. I'm gonna start sharing some of the pictures on my Instagram as well, because I'm so proud of the photography. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. If you guys have any questions, hit me up over on Instagram. I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of my evening, and I'll see you guys next week for the next topic, which is probably going to be intermittent fasting or mucus. We shall decide in the week. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys take something away from this. I hope it all makes sense, and if it doesn't, as I said, just leave any comments, leave any questions in the comments down below, or just hit me up on Instagram, whatever is easier for you guys. Thank you so much for constantly tuning in. Really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week. Mwah.